There's a new game from DONTNOD available called Tell Me Why, and I want to talk about it, and about Life is Strange's big downfall. First things first, I am one of the biggest Life is Strange fans like ever, even though I told everyone that I won't buy anything from Square-Enix ever again after so many games from them were just plain bad or not my cup of tea. I happily gave them all my money for almost every single variation of their Life is Strange and Before the Storm releases. I even owned a way too expensive vinyl editions. But then DONTNOD fucked it all up. Life is Strange 2 was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in gaming. A story so poorly told, I did not play the last episode until 4 weeks after its release, because I just didn't care. And the main reason was pretty simple too. Life is Strange was a series about characters. Its story was never and will never be the greatest of all time. But I fell in love with Chloe and her struggles, cried about the fate of Rachel, and could feel the things Max was feeling. This series made me care about characters nobody should care about, like Nathan Prescott. And yeah, the prequel Before the Storm was not great at all. Its story was just okay, with a really bad ending too, but it understood its characters and was mostly fun because of that. I replayed it quite a few times, not because of some different ending or something like that, but because I wanted to see those characters again, love with them, hope with them, and cry with them. Life is Strange 2's journey destroyed all of that. Suddenly they had to create new characters and places for every single new episode. The brothers Diaz were traveling, so they rarely saw the same place twice. This worked for the first episode, and a little bit even for the second episode. Then we, the players, saw that no character in this story mattered in the grand scheme of things. They all were just window dressing, an illusion, because they all got replaced just a few scenes or an episode later. And because of that, most things centered just around the boys, to the point where every episode seemed to follow the same outline, with some kind of beef between the brothers, like the writers did not know what to do with them. It felt so formulaic and not real, and in turn it made me not care about anything in this game at all, even though the game had a pretty decent ending. At least the one I got was decent. Now, with PCs and Xbox One's Tell Me Why, DONTNOD tries to recapture the magic of their hit game once again, this time with a story about a trans character. Yeah, don't worry, Tyler is fine. He's not just trans, and he won't play a dick social justice warrior either, pun intended. Him being trans is part of the story, yes, but it felt natural, because Tyler is more than just trans. He has his own hobbies, his character. And so did the other characters. You can't really say that much, because this is just episode 1 of 3. But the NPCs in this game seem to be quite a bit better than those in Life is Strange 2. And that's because one thing. The story is back in a single location, a small town. The main reason Life is Strange 1 worked so well. Every person has some kind of connection to the characters or their past. Wherever you go, whatever you look at, everything tells you about the twins, their mother, or the other characters living in this small town. They don't feel like filler anymore. So while the main story seems to be pretty predictable for most of the time, except for some mysterious otherworldly things at the end that I won't spoil here, the cast around Tyler is good enough to make an impression. But DONTNOD did not only make the characters better, thanks heaven not, it also upped the graphics quite a bit. And it added a few real puzzles into the game, not just searching for bottles or bullshit like that. The door puzzle and even the search for the password for the police computer was pretty nice and quite creative. Also, the things you learn and see get used in the conversations. You can't just pick answers at random if you want all informations. You need to remember how things were called or how it happened. This game feels like a real step forward, an evolution, so to say. The only thing I thought not handled well was the supernatural ability of the twins. If I would suddenly hear my twin in my head and see the past manifest before my very eyes, I would have to say more about that than like 2 sentences. But in the end, that was the only thing in episode 1 which really made me roll my eyes. It's still no Life is Strange 1, but tell me why it has the potential to be as great or maybe even better than it. And I sure do hope DONTNOD can keep up with the 2 other episodes, releasing just a week apart from one another.